Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, the Cowboy Game Day Live, the post-game show live here at Canvas Sports and Social, presented by Texas Card House, the premium location for all poker players in the DFW area or across the nation. And we'll have a more happy, I guess, river today.
Yeah.
Because the Cowboys get the victory 30-14 in essentially a night and day halves, really. First half, Cowboys go in up 10-7 in the second half. We came out at the halftime, and said, hey, can this defense have a equivalent to what the offense did last week against Cincinnati Bengals, coming out and score a touchdown? The first play, Osa Odighizuwa, who's about to get paid, forces a fumble, and the rest is history for the Cowboys as they rout the Panthers in the second half, scoring 20 points to their 7, and they get the 30-14 victory, Jesse.
No, like you said, night and day for this football team, and for the Cowboys, you know, it's all about now how can we find ways to improve player-wise and team-wise. But a lot of it comes down to just looking at what players that we can point out as you can say, you know what, this guy, that guy, that guy. There's a plan for them going forward, and you mentioned the name that we would love to have on our team going forward in Osa Odighizuwa, but this might be a guy from the way that he's played his whole time here in Dallas, but especially this year, is a guy who is looking to probably get paid this offseason. And if they're keeping pace to what Stephen Jones has hinted to this year about, you know, 2025 is going to look a lot like 2024, then in 2024 we saw about 8 guys from this starting roster on both sides of the ball total leave this team to go other places, and Odighizuwa might be the next one in the line to go somewhere else and get paid.
Another guy in line to get paid is Micah Parsons, who had another 2-sack game. What did we say in the pregame show? 2 sacks, doesn't get a sack, 2 sacks, doesn't get a sack, 2 sacks. Micah Parsons, I believe, is 4th or 5th all time in multiple sack games in his first 4 seasons. He's up there with guys like Reggie White and LT and J.J. Watt and all-time greats, and his trajectory is finishing among those guys in regards to sacks. So, you know, obviously he's going to be looking to get the bag. And there was a big article that I'm sure you guys will talk about this week. We'll talk about it as well, that came out where you hear the front office talking about that. But there is no denying it. You're going to have to pay this man because he is a disruptor in that way, and today he came down with another 2-sack game.
No, when you got Micah Parsons on your football team and on your defense, you have a guy that can single-handedly, with no help, no twists, no stunts,
just go get
no extra, no nothing. Like, he can line up and be a disruptor, to be a game wrecker all by himself. And when you have a guy like that on your team, the other guys around it, your Carl Lawsons, your Goldstons, your Odighizuwas, your Mozzie Smiths, all of those other guys benefit from having a player like Micah Parsons on your team, because the offense, when they break the huddle, when that offensive line turns around, their first thought process is, where's number 11? Let's find him. Let's make sure that we got a tight end over there. The running back's heading over that way. The line is sliding to that way. So Micah Parsons undoubtedly will get the bag, whether it be from the Cowboys or somewhere else. But the bag is on the way for him, and hopefully that it's on this team, because a guy like that, you see the difference when he's on the field and when he's not on the field on how you can do things defensively.
Well, Michael from Pittsburgh must have been listening to us at halftime, because he came out in the second half and Rico Dowdle had 14 carries and Cooper Rush finished with 10 attempts. So for the first time, it felt like in a long time, the Cowboys rushed more than they threw the ball, and what you get is you get less risky throws, you get less bad throws, you get less risky plays, and you get 149 yards from Rico Dowdle, and Cooper Rush would finish with 3 touchdowns on 214 yards in this game. So this is kind of this is what we used to see under the Cooper Rush led offenses, where it was mostly running. 40 attempts, let's take out Cooper Rush, those don't really count. So 36 rushing attempts, and we kind of jokingly, but we said, hey man, give Kevontae Turpin some of those plays where you want to give, you know, Rico Dowdle a break. Turp got in there, averaged 13.5 yards on his 2 carries, and then Ezekiel Elliott finished the day with 9 carries for 30 yards. So, you know, they did what we asked them to do, is, hey, lean on this run game against the worst rush defense in the National Football League, and don't allow your backup quarterback to have to throw the ball 40 times, which he was on pace to do.
Yeah.
And he only finished with 29 attempts in this one.
No, you're right. And Rico having another career career day, career
Big
carries, career yards.
Record day. Well, I don't know record, but the first time since day.
Yeah, the first time since 2014 has an undrafted rookie rush for 3 consecutive 100-yard games. The last one to do that was Arian Foster with the Titans. And you said you weren't going to do it, and I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to say that Rico took complete advantage of the opponents that he faced.
Absolutely, man.
Right? He took complete advantage of the last 3 opponents that he's faced and being able to get the running game going, which is great for Rico, which is fantastic for Rico, because the one thing that you have to do, it's you're only as good as your last snap, right? And so you want to continue to keep going out there, and as this season dwindles down and comes to an end, I want to make sure that the last thing that ownership and scouts and personnel remember about me is this brand of football.
Right.
So that because this thing is an ebb and flow. People feel how they feel each and every week. And so if you can go out here and leave the season on an uptick, he's probably definitely going to he's probably 100 yards away now, a little over 100 yards away.
Yeah, he's going to get that
1,000 yards.
I think he'll reach it.
That goes into the consideration of what you are as a player next year when they're building out this roster.
Yeah.
So good for Rico. Kudos for Rico for turning this thing around for himself, and for Michael from Pittsburgh to really leaning on him in the second half.
Michael from Illinois added another good game to his resume. Granted, again, context being it's the Panthers or what have you, but it was just one possession really there to me where I gotta laugh a little bit, man. In one possession there where the defense looked bad, and that was on that touchdown throw for 80 yards. Other than that, man, they sacked Bryce Young 6 times in this game, and they shut down Chuba Hubbard to 3.2 yards per carry. So just another stellar performance. Israel McQuamu got in on the action with the interception. The linebackers played well. We saw Maris Leofau force a fumble earlier in that game. We kind of talked about how Maris Leofau, he may not be Demo, but he's been a productive rookie, and I think his arrow is pointing up. We talked about maybe being the new middle linebacker moving forward. If Demo didn't get hurt, man, you really have Maris and Demo for the future, and I was so excited to see it. But we know Maris moving forward is a guy that I think the Cowboys will be able to count on.
Yeah, and I'll go back and look at it more tonight when I look over this game again. But you saw there were moments that Mike Zimmer used Maris Leofau as the middle linebacker, and so them being able to go back and forth and giving Maris those opportunities to have those snaps really will benefit him going forward.
I'm just thinking this. I mean, what else I'm going to I ain't going to hold y'all too long because, look, they be turning up here. I ain't going to lie to you. But
we always say I come down here at Canvas.
Tell y'all to come down because they turn up down here at Canvas Sports and Social. But you just never know what they're going to play. Yeah, so we don't know who's listening. We might have to put the kids in bed. Heads in bed type of situation. But let's just make it a quick one here, man, and get to our river presented by Texas Card House, the premier location in the DFW area for your poker experience. And like I said, we'll make this one fast. I'll start off, Jesse. For me, and it goes back to kind of what we've been saying all year, it's while for the draft it may not be great, but for some of these players, they needed to tack on good film, good play moving forward. And I think the guy that's doing that, that's taking advantage of that the most, is undoubtedly Rico Dowdle, who I don't know, he may be playing himself out of Dallas. And I know that sounds cruel. What do you mean playing himself out of Dallas? Dallas, I don't think they're going to pay over a certain amount at the running back position. Rico very well may finish this year over 1,000 yards and the last like 6 weeks with a really good resume. All it's going to take is one team to offer him over $3.5 million, and I don't even know if Dallas will be willing to pay that. And Rico's taking that. Okay, y'all, I'm just telling y'all right now. There is no, oh, Dallas, thank you for giving me a chance. Rico's up out of here if he gets offered anything over that $3.5 million mark. So I'm happy for Rico if that happens, because he deserves to get this bread. His body's been through a lot. If he can get one decent payday in his career, you're happy for that player, right? Because NFL running backs don't really have that long in this league, and he's a guy who's for 8 consecutive seasons has been a hurt guy, has missed games due to injury. So if he can go get the bag, great. I just don't know if it'll be in Dallas, but he is the guy that's taking advantage of, hey man, the season over, but I got something to play for.
Yeah, and for me, it's almost kind of almost bittersweet, because I would like to see what would it look like if Mike Zimmer had this defense for one more offseason.
You might.
He might not. But and that's the thing is that, you know, the way that this defense has kind of come on the second half of this season, you know, of course, you're without Tank, you're without Sam Williams, you were without
Micah for like a quarter,
for a little bit. Now you're without Damari and Overshawn, you're without Diggs. So I would like to see what it would look like with this defense under the tutelage of Mike Zimmer for maybe one more offseason.
With guys he wants to, by the way.
Yeah, with guys
I don't think the safeties were his guys. I don't think the defensive tackles were his guys.
So just to kind of see how that would look, because what he has done, he has turned this thing around. Now, given the competition that they've had to play, I get it, I understand it, because a lot of these guys were a part of this team under Zimmer early in the year, where it looked wild. It looked real wild, and it was record-setting on the negative end of things. But it feels like there is an understanding that's being had. What's my guy that says, I understand now? I feel like after they went through their mishaps, it's an understanding now from these guys on this defense and what that would look like with another offseason of being under that. And then now you can add on those other layers to this defense, right? Because I think not having everybody all at one time and having to get back to the basics, being able to now have an offseason and now everybody's under the same knowledge of what's going on. I don't know if Eric Kendricks is going to be back on this team next year, but I would like to see what it would look like with another offseason with Zim in this defense.
I'll say this when I say I'm with you. I think of all the Mikes, he's the one that not just the Mikes, but
all the Mikes. Mike Solari, Michael from Pittsburgh.
Yes, but of the big three is what I called it. The big three to me is the head coach / offense coordinator, which is the same guy, the defensive coordinator, and the special teams coordinator. He's the one that's earned his return the most, in my opinion. So I'm still of the belief that whoever the head coach is, allow him to pick his guy. And if he looks at everything and says, I want Mike Zimmer to return, I have no problem with it. I just hope the front office gives Mike the guys he needs as well, because I don't think they did that this offseason.
And not to hedge my bet, but these next 3 weeks for him I think are important too. Going up against the Bucks, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington
offenses that usually can put up some points.
Yeah, so if what he did the last 3 weeks can kind of continue on the next 3 weeks, I think that bodes well for him heading in the offseason. If not for Dallas, definitely for another NFL team across this league.
At the very least, he's earned the right to be a DC somewhere else, if not here in Dallas, man. But that is the post-game show. Cowboys get the dub 30-14. You can find us on all of our streaming platforms this week. I mean, Jesse's everywhere. You let him know where to find you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me 5 days a week at DallasCowboys.com. You can catch me on All City DLS Cowboys 5 days a week. You can catch me on my own podcast, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. You can also catch me on Believe in the Cowboys on the Believe Network. At Mr. Fourth Along on Twitter. If you didn't get any of those, holla at your boy, man. I'm outside. And of course, back here next Sunday.
Yeah, we back in the next 3, 4. Is it 4?
3.
3 games left?
We got a night game next week.
Oh yeah, Monday night. I think another Sunday night. Bucks, Cowboys. Yeah. It should be a good one, hopefully.
Yes, you know how we feel about night games.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but we'll be here, and I know they'll be turning up like they turned up down here. You can find me tomorrow morning here live on ATOZ Sports Dallas. We'll be talking about this game. I haven't had a cookout in a while. I'm still not feeling cookout worthy. But what I've been doing was last time I felt like this, I had a game of spades. So come on over. Maybe we'll do another game of spades tomorrow. I just don't. It ain't been a cookout type of year.
This ain't been a cookout.
It ain't been a cookout.
The Carolina Panthers don't bring out a cookout.
No.
Go beat Philly. Go beat Philly.
Beat Philly, then we have a cookout.
Have a cookout.
For sure. But I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, man. Jesse will see y'all. We already see. Jesse been out. He been working out, so he said the sunshine. Look, the sun.
Thank you, son. Thank you, son. Victory.
I'm about to turn up now. Hey, bartender. Bartender. I know, not for my man. I'll take his drink. Hey. I'll pull up at the club. Out.